Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and today we're going to be doing part 3 and probably the finale of evolving a custom solar system from birth to death 2. So, without further ado, let's just continue where we left off. So, if you remember right, Spicer is now in its future form. It's larger, brighter than it is today, and yeah, it's getting pretty serious now, and obviously we're going to need to be probably entering the red supergiant and the red hypergiant phase today, so this should be pretty interesting. It's already larger than the sun will ever reach, so yeah, this should be interesting. So without further ado, let's roll. So we'll go back on labels. You can already see we can already see some of the planets like we saw last episode. A lot of them are just absolutely scorched now. We can see the planets that used to have life or close to life stats, yeah, they've all been ruined. We can see some of the gas giants are getting warmed up now. If we look further out into the system at some of the colder objects further out, I mean, some of these are still getting some temperatures. I think, yes, we can see this one here. This methane one's got no temperature whatsoever. I wonder if that's just because it's a weird element or not. Yeah, I think it's just bugged because it's a this one isn't exactly a normal object there. So, okay, how are we doing at some of the further ones? Yes, even WASP-12b, one of the further out objects, yeah, that's in the hundreds now. If we look at its stats, yeah, it takes it's about 40 AU, so it's further than the distance of Neptune from our sun. I think, where are we here? Okay, so yeah, this planet here, this is roughly Neptune distance from the star, so we can see there's still a lot more stuff further out than that. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually let things evolve a bit. Let's lock onto the star. And let's just let things roll and see if any orbits change still. Because remember, the orbits are still very, very unstable with some of these. And remember, Muir, looks like both of the Muirs now. Both of those have been completely ruined, their orbits. They're never going to be those Earth-like conditioned at all now. So, yeah, not looking good for those. But I think, yeah, let's head to the star itself. I think we need to continue getting bigger. So, I think our goal with this star, I think we roughly want to go to the size of Antares or Betelgeuse. So that's around 3 to 4 AU in size, I believe. So let's just have a little quick comparison with how large I think the star should roughly reach. So where are we here? Okay, so there's Betelgeuse. So I think something roughly this size would be appropriate for this sort of star. I don't think it should be on the levels of Canis Majoris, for instance, or Scuti. It's one of the really, really big hypergiants, but I definitely think we can get into the supergiant phase here. So, yeah, this should be good. So let's go ahead and do this. So play, and obviously the star. We're going to continue increasing that radius. So let's go. So it's getting bigger, more dangerous. The surface temperature is cooling as well, so it's getting more red. So we're going to continue going up there. So we're now roughly going to go to around 2 AU. Obviously the luminosity as well, we're going to increase the luminosity further as it gets bigger. So we're now at 2 AU, even brighter than before. Obviously we can see the star, very, very big and mighty compared to its original status. So now let's see how things change. So let's really, really speed things up. Obviously the star's getting bigger, so that should in theory probably affect some of the orbits more. So I'm hoping it will actually, because that could be quite good to see how everything evolves here. So yeah, let's keep it rolling, but yeah, let's actually have a look on the inner objects here. So the closest planet to the star here, bright one. This poor thing is just not looking good at all. We can see Nerati, that was the second one out, 800 degrees. LP12, 747. Pascal, one of the planets that was Earth-like, that's at 760 now. Oh man. Right, next up we got Comp 1. So that's the bigger gas giants. So yeah, that one's at almost 500 now at Neptune distance. So that is that's pretty crazy. Is anything even at Earth conditions now? Let's have a look. So 57, even at the ice giants further out, 57 degrees. What about one of these guys? Minus 85. Okay, but it looks like this one enters in and out, so that's not really a good example. What about one of these like random rocky planets out here? So even this one, or one of the dwarf planets, even that's in the hundreds. What about this object here, Hort? Because that one has a lot of these just spike in temperatures. They don't really sit the same. They constantly change, and due to the orbits all being completely unstable in the outer system. I think probably the best example probably is the blue-trailed one here. So this is roughly the sort of temperatures you're going to be getting in this part. I mean, even this one, its orbit still looks pretty circular, but you can see its temperature's still just constantly changing. There's no just accurate number to describe what the temperatures are like at this distance, because the number's just not the same. So let's just slow things down, because we can see its orbit is slightly inclined, it's tilted, it's bent. So it's not really a good example of how it's going to work. So Okay, so let's see here. Now, one thing I want to try, we've done it in, I think we did it in the previous one where we extended the orbits out. But what I want to do with this one is sometimes there's a theory that when the stars get bigger, they may pull some of the orbits closer to them. So I kind of want to try that now. So we're going to go to simulation. We're going to go to view here. Oh, it's not view, is it? No, we want tools. No, tools. Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to try is this should be pretty cool. Shrink. We're going to shrink it by 1. So as our star's getting larger, it's going to have a little interruption with the orbits. So we've just shrunk it down a bit. So that's going to make everything a lot closer. So this should really spice things up now. So I'm not sure how much of a decrease that had. But we know roughly where one of the orbits was. So let's look at where this one was. So this one was roughly 27 AU. So it is now down to 24 AU. So there's a fairly 3 AU increase there. So that has shrunk a lot of things down. And that, in theory, will upset a lot of the planet orbits as well, since the star has shrunk the system down a bit. So obviously, bright 1 is going to be closer to the star now. So it's probably going to be engulfed at this range as it's getting stupidly close. We can see. Now let's let it really roll, because I reckon with the planets being closer together now, I reckon the orbits are really going to go wild. So, oh yeah, they are wobbling now. Oh, right, okay. So let's, we'll go, try, how fast can we run it? But I really think at that pink one, or yeah, the comp planet, I really think that is going to have some effects on some of the other planets. It's going to really bend some of these orbits as stuff comes in and out here. So this should be pretty extreme. So we can still see here as well, bright 1, hottest planet in here. Actually, we can get a chart mode of the planet temperatures as well. So let's go to temperature. It looks like they're all inside the star, actually. So bright 1 is right in there. So these are all of the hot planets. I don't know why they're inside the star. I think it's kind of bugged. I'm not sure, but that's pretty weird. But if we just go to radius, will that work? Okay, so we can just have a rough example of who's hot and who isn't. So obviously we can see one of the gas giants is there. That's the closest one. So this one's really sort of intense hot now, so there we are. And obviously down to the rocky planets closer to the star. I mean, yeah, pretty much every single one of them has just had it, so yeah, not looking good whatsoever. How are the Muirs doing? Yeah, they're still just completely, yeah, these ones are ruined. They had potential for Earth-like conditions, but they've just been completely ruined by the way the system has evolved. We can see all of these dwarf planets down here. They're not really too much of a thing. I mean, some of them are being disintegrated by the looks of it, but well, it looks like there's one of the, it's a bit of a bug there with the loading on the textures and stuff. But yeah, there we are. Okay, cool. So let's yeah, zoom out again. Okay, and let's keep it rolling. Play. Let's speed up time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Right, so let's just watch for a few minutes and then just see if stuff changes, because obviously it does take time for a system to evolve and the orbits to bend each other. So maybe after a while we'll see something. Obviously 2 of the gas giants just need to get close in that inner system. It looks like WASP-12b actually. Looks like this one's having some interference with Comp 1 here. We can see these are some of the titans of the system. They're the largest mass objects. This one's got 1.4. Our Planet Guys one here has got 5. So when those 2 get close together, they're going to bounce off each other. And we can see, I think WASP-12b, I don't remember its orbit being closer than the pink orbit earlier in the video. So we'll have to just see how that changes. Because I think it's definitely wobbling. You can see its orbit is definitely not sitting the same. So let's yeah, just keep watching. How some of the, yeah, look at all these objects being slung out here as well. All these ones in the further areas. I think as this time passes, more and more of them are going to be doing this. Their orbits get inclined. It's almost like yeah, it's kind of like how Sedna's orbit is in our own solar system, if you think about it, or a lot of the dwarf planets in our solar system. They've all got these weird inclined orbits. That's all due to the presence of like the gas giants all ricocheting off each other closer in the system and stuff as well. So it's pretty extreme stuff. We can see WASP-12b. This one's orbit has changed again now. It's not closer than the pink one anymore, but it's still, no, it is. It's still having massive interference in there. So let's just slow it down and try and watch it as it passes. So we can see roughly the close points. It looks like they're going to get fairly close together here. No, they're going to have to go round again. But yeah, you can see they're having close interactions there. But obviously we need to wait for Comp 1 to catch up with WASP-12b at the crucial moment, as they have a point there where they get really close together. So we're going to have to just see roughly if they get close in there. Looks like the methane gas giant had a close encounter with Comp 1. So it looks like they're going to get close this time. No. So it looks like they've got to be in the perfect spot at the perfect time. But they do look really close. So let's just watch it go again. Okay, here we go. This is looking possibly quite good. No, the Comp 1's still not catching up with it in time. So they have to literally be there at the perfect time for them to have a Well, I'd say a collision, have a close interaction. So, come on. Maybe we could manually do it, but I don't really want to do that. I want to just have it evolve naturally, you know, so... Okay, oh, they're looking close there, but it's this vital area here. This point roughly here. This is where they're going to be interacting the most. So we just have to watch and wait for both of them to come around here at the same time. So let's just keep an eye out. But come on, we want to get them close together. Come on. And all the other orbits going around as well. It's absolutely insane how cool this is. So, come on. I want to see some more planet interaction, damn it. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. So they had a close call there. Didn't look like the orbits had much change. But obviously now let's speed it up and just continue to look at them as they change. So we can still see the over a long period of time, that red orbit is look at it, it's changing again. It's constantly changing. It looks like Pascal's orbit as well. As we saw in previous videos, this one is also having an effect against the pink one here. Its orbit is now being bent inwards a bit, so it's actually becomes one of the closer planets. Gets closer than LP12 at one point in this orbit, so you can see its temperature does range as it gets into that closer area. As we can see, as it goes inwards and outwards, it has a massive temperature spike from around 600 to 900 for a 300-degree temperature change, all due to that. So let's keep it rolling. Try and go as fast as possible. I'm really surprised that not more have been ejected this episode so far. I mean, that one looks like it's really close to being ejected. Just judging by that, I mean, yeah, that's got a really that thing's speed increases very fast. Look at its velocity when it comes inwards. So it goes up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So it went up to 12 there as it comes in and out. I mean, look at that. At the speed of this thing is getting launched. I mean, eventually it's just going to go too fast and it may just escape. Wowee. Okay, and look at all the orbits out here. They're just all constantly changing. All of these Sedna-like orbits, really far out. I mean, look at this. It is absolutely crazy what's going on here. And it looks like back into the inner system area. It looks like WASP-12b is now sitting further out from the star again. So yeah, this one's orbit just can't make its mind up. Remember, there is a third gas giant in here somewhere as well. Where is it? Yeah, 51 Erie B. This one's at 2 Jupiters. It looks like we've got one of the ice giants cutting in the inner system now as well. It looks like Pascal. This one's orbit has been interrupted yet again, and its orbit is now cooled down a bit. It's actually getting further out from the star. So if we just have a look here, how we're doing. Oh, there's that weird glitch again. So yeah, let's keep it going. Yep. Oh, okay. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, let's slow that down. So we can just watch it in slow motion. So you can see its temperature goes down to about 150, then it increases up to around 400 again. But yeah, it was a lot different to where it was sitting a few minutes ago. So you can see that is a real big change for that one. How's the inner system sitting? There's LP12. How you doing? Oh my god, what is happening here? Oh my gosh, what is this all about? I mean, I want to say that's glitched. I mean, what is that? That's like pretty cool though. Yeah, so this poor object has been absolutely scorched. You can still see it's got all the cool city light areas like the volcanic eruption activity. That's what we use the lights to represent on this one. But yeah, that's let's have a little look on the... Yeah, what is that all about? It looks like it's one of those snow glitches. I'm guessing that's the snow. What if we turn it off? Ice, snow? Yeah, I didn't know snow worked at... What was this? 600 degrees snow. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So, there we are. Unless like the pressure on here is so high that the ice simply can't melt, but I'm not sure that really works with the history of the planet in this system because it never had water, so that's pretty weird. Let's keep it going. And I think we need to continue with Spicer here. I think it's going to start getting too close to Bright 1. I kind of want to say as it gets bigger again, I kind of want to shrink the system yet again, you know, like get really close in here. So the star's getting bigger. Poor old Bright 1, man, is getting really in there now. So now we've jumped up to about 3 AU. Oh, it's popped. Oh, no. God, no. What's that all about? It looks like, okay, so it looks like we're obviously going to have to rerun that. It looks like the system's all free. Look how everything just changes immediately. As this all... Remember, this object had water at one point, Bright 1. But, okay, so looks like once we... it's kind of annoying I didn't save the simulation, at least. So we have to hop back a bit. But let's just jump the star immediately to 3 AU. Times 2. That's a 2.6. Okay, so can we go to 3? Come on, let's just hop to 3. Maybe 3 is the maximum limit this star can go. Okay, so it looks like we will never be able to get to the hypergiant phase with this star. It looks like 3 is roughly the limit for how large this star can get. Okay, interesting. Right, so can we go to 2.8 maybe? Is that a fair number? No, it won't do 2.8 either. Okay, come on. We want to get it as high as possible, though. So it looks like the star really is on its last legs now. So, okay, what about 2.7? Can it hold 2.7? No, it can't hold 2.7 either. Right. What about 2.6? We're just going to have to try and find the sweet spot of how large the star will actually go and then get a system save in. So 2.5. What about 2.5? Can it go? Yes, okay, so it can run 2.5. Let's get that saved up while we're here. Thank you. We'll put it to 10 now. Save 10. So obviously the star's getting a lot more dangerous than it was in the previous save. And obviously luminosity, I think we'll have a little increase there. Perhaps it can... No, I think that's. I don't think we'll push it much further than that because I don't want it just blowing up again or just disappearing. It didn't even blow up, did it? So it's really weird. So Antares, so it's not on the level of a supergiant, really. But I mean, if we compare it to a normal red giant, so go to the red giant sun. It's a lot larger than the red giant sun is now. So we can see, yeah, this thing is definitely in between the super and the normal red giant and then the super giant phase. That's roughly where this star's sitting, but it's probably large enough to be a super giant, I want to say. I mean, I'm not really sure where the size boundary starts with the classification, but yeah, there's that. So 2.5, and then what we're going to do, like we had before, we are going to shrink the system down again. I do want to see that action again, so shrink, but I'm going to do it twice this time, so it's even closer than it was before. So this is the star or the system in its final days now, so we'll just throw a save in again. So save 10, yeah. Okay, so the star has got larger, it's shrunk its system down a bit as it's pulled them in slightly, the orbits, and now it's on its very, very last legs. It's at maximum luminosity, maximum size, so the only step next is this supernova. So that'll be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and it may be quite hard to set the supernova up because they're kind of weird in the new versions of the game. So I think we'd have to replace it with a white dwarf and then put another one on top of that and blow it up or something. Well, not a white dwarf, a pulsar or a black hole or something actually. So play. Oh, okay, right. It looks like we may not be able to run the system with that star either. Maybe that doesn't work. So let's just try that again. So it looks like it really doesn't want to run. It really, really does not want to run with that star. So does it just do it every time? So it does it every time. Okay. So I guess the system can't hold the star at that size either then. Right. Wow. Okay. So this is really, really crazy then. So maybe it can't go much larger than 2.25. Play. Okay. Right. There you go. Okay. Right. We'll have to roll with that then. So the star's a little smaller than we wanted, but it's yeah, as long as it works. So okay. So it's yeah. Luminosity's fine, radius is fine. We did shrink the system down a bit more. So, okay, so this is the final days of the system now. So let's watch as this starts. Oh, you can see the orbit of Bright 1 is really, really having problems now. It's really, really wobbling around that star. We can see it's just getting extremely hot here. The orbits are still crazy changing as we have shrunk the system down slightly. So we can see its stuff is really going to get hectic now. So let's watch this stuff. So maximum speed. You can see some of these are still getting slingshotted out. Look at this. Wow, okay. So we'll look onto the start. We can see a lot of orbits are having just constant changes now. Nothing is staying the same in here. Every single orbit is being changed. It looks like Pascal is obviously back inwards again since we had to reopen the save. So we can see Pascal's orbit. We probably will see Pascal's orbit have a massive change again. So if we just look at Pascal itself here. So the blue orbit. Keep an eye on that orbit. So that should, in theory, be having some changes here. Come on, game. Come on, we want to see it again. Come on, we want to see the evolution. You can see LP12's orbit, the yellow orbit next to Pascal. That one's also having some interference. But Pascal's orbit as well, it looks like the gas giants are really having problems with it being in that position. So, alright, let's if we go any faster. No, that seems to be it. So, oh my god, this is just, look at the orbit's outer. Is one of them being ejected? I mean, well, look at this one over here. This is ridiculous. So we can see, look at its speed as it comes inward now. So it's going to increase in speed. This one surely is going to get ejected now. Come on. That orbit is just ridiculous. So as we see, it approaches the star. It gets closer and closer, faster and faster as it comes down. So it's going up to 1, 2, 3 kilometers a second as it launches in there. It goes all the way up to, I think that was 18. I'm not sure, but it's still going out. That may have killed it. I'm not sure. But that is just absolutely hectic. How are we doing in the inner parts of the system now? So we can see orbits are still having just constant changes. Nothing nothing works anymore, does it? Oh, dearie me. This system has been quite a wild ride, honestly. I mean, with the amount of stuff that's all wobbled around. None of the orbits are in the original positions, so there's absolutely mayhem in here. So let's just slow down and see where everyone is. So let's have a little slow down there. Oh my gosh, this is just this is absolutely mental how this has evolved. So yep, the orbits are still just not having any luck with the yeah, they're just not having any luck staying in their positions. You know what we're gonna do again, just for even more fun? I'm gonna shrink it more. The star's getting bigger, and it's pulled some of them in. Some of their orbits have sort of decayed, just been interrupted. Because I believe that is a theory. It's not just a bit of fantasy there. I believe there was a theory that with our solar system itself, there's a possibility at, say, Venus and Earth, they could actually spiral inwards a bit due to the star, or the sun, I should say, getting bigger. So yeah, we're using that sort of theory for this system. So I remember the last system we expanded it, but yeah, this time we're gonna make it go. Yeah, we're gonna shrink it. So that's what we've done. So we've shrunk it a good amount of times now. So we'll run it again, see the orbits as their final stages. I mean, yeah, it looks like the gas giant orbits, the red and the pink orbits, they're getting close once again. But yeah, we've shrunk it enough now. So that should be enough to... Oh, okay, this one is still... I'm really surprised it hasn't been ejected now. That is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, we'll watch it evolve for the final time. As the next thing we are going to do, the star... We're going to be seeing this star go into nova time. So it may take a few attempts to actually get the nova correctly. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to replace it and then set a nova off separately. I think is the only way it's going to work. So yeah, let's just watch it go. And actually, while the simulation's running, I'll get the star saved, a copy of the star saved. So okay, I just need to put an underscore in front of it. Okay, so let's get that saved while the system evolves, so we can get it ready. So let's just do 2 underscores. There we go. So that should put it at the bottom of my list. So let's get that saved. Thank you. Right, and then as the orbits are still changing, we'll throw another save. And it looks like we've almost ran this simulation for 1,000,000 years straight now. I mean, look at that. Yeah, we'll have to get it to 1,000,000. Look, we're at 0.985 million years system runtime. So yeah, we're gonna have to get it to 1,000,000. 100%. Let's do it. So there we go. Let's just watch it as it gets to 1,000,000. I think once we get to 1,000,000 years of simulation runtime, we will detonate our star. So this is going to be cool. And we'll have to put a pulsar. We need to put a pulsar in the middle. I think a pulsar will be most appropriate. I mean, we could go with a black hole. I mean, it's a supergiant. It's a supergiant star. They have the option to either become a pulsar or a black hole. So, I mean, it's just whatever we prefer, really. So, yeah, or a neutron star. So we could just use one of the normal ones for that. So, okay, so we're at 1,000,000 years. We are now at 1,000,000. So this is the system in its final stage. And look at this, actually. WASP-12b. Its orbit has actually ended up being closer to the star than the... Look at that. This orbit has actually got close in the star. So that having that gas giant in that position would really upset the inner planets now. Having that gas giant of 1.4 Jupiters in there. So look at that. Look how that has changed. This gas giant originally started further out. A lot further out. And this one's migrated inwards just naturally with us shrinking the system and its interactions with the pink object. So... pretty interesting stuff indeed. Very, very cool. So let's just slow a little down now. Get that. Hold your horses. There you go. Nice and slow. Save it again. Just get another update in there. Okay, so this is now the system in its final stage before star detonation. So I'm not sure how many of these planets are going to survive. Looks like the nitrogen gas giant and the helium gas giant actually fairly close in here as well. But now, the star itself, it's a shame it never migrated out to destroy Bright 1, but it's very close to. So there we go. Obviously the final orbits. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is some absolutely. These all started off circular. All of these orbits were circular. So absolutely crazy stuff indeed. Right. So what we need to do is, because I can't just blow the star up because there won't be anything for the planets to orbit anymore. So what we have to do is we're going to replace it. So we're going to replace it with, I guess, just one of the default pulsars. So something down here. Yeah, so we'll use this one. Okay, so there's our star. Our star has now become this. But what we're going to do is we're going to place a star, the exact same star on top of it, and then we're going to blow it up. So the planets have still retained their orbits, and then we're going to still have our star explosion. So where are we here? Where is it? Future. Whereabouts are there? So many stars. There we go. Future spices. We're going to place that right in the middle. And then what we're going to do is simply slow down time as far as possible so we can watch it all unfold. So nice and slow, and then we're going to go tools, explode, then then we're going to go kaboom. So the nova has spawned in. We're going to delete the star. Okay, so there we go. So our star has just exploded. So imagine this just playing out. So the star has just exploded. Obviously, the pulsar is now sitting in the very middle of the system. This is all that's left. So remember, it had more mass than this. It's only got 1.9 masses of sun left. It's obviously a lot hotter than it was, but now it's got us surrounded by a nova. So, I mean, hopefully we can save it with the nova in the middle. I mean, that could be quite cool. So, yeah, what do you think of that? There's a nova about to be erupting here. So, the nova is about to detonate. Obviously, the system... I mean, I'm not sure how many of the planets will survive this in the inner areas here, but let's go ahead and go. Oh, that was way too quickly. Oh, my God, right. So, there we go. So, the nova's detonated. Looks like a lot of the orbits have been very, very upset by this. So, let's see if some of these survive or not. So, let's roll it all out. Let it all go. Speed up time. It looks like a lot of the orbits are... Are they even working? I mean, some of them look like they are. I'm not sure what's going on there. Looks like they all got thrown out anyway. Come on, I want them to orbit, damn it. So, I guess some of them still are. So that is very weird, but okay. So, they all got tossed out. I mean, a lot of the planets actually survived. Oh, and there you go. Okay. Oh my gosh, right. So that is roughly the end of it. So, I mean, a lot of them actually did make it out alive. I mean, you can see there's still a fair amount of objects there. It looks like all of the inner planets are gone, like Pascal. Yeah, all of those guys close to the star are gone. Obviously, the gas giants have larger mass, they're fine. But all of the inner rocky planets are gone. All the only rocky planets left are all the ones that are sitting really far out. So you can see, yeah, the inner solar system just got obliterated. So, can we run that again? I want to run that again. Where are we? At number 11. Okay, so does the nova still work in a save? I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so we have to place the nova again by the looks of it. It looks like, let's try auto orbit as well. Just so we can retain the orbits. Damn it, I want the orbits. Aha, right. Okay, so now, again, we're going to place a star roughly where it was and we're going to blow it up again. So where are we? Let's go do that again. And then Spicer, obviously we want to blow you up. So running the simulation nice and slow. Tools, explode. Thank you. So I don't know why the star doesn't just disappear there. That is weird when it does that. That is very strange. So there we go. A supernova. Let's run the simulation. Just go stupidly slow here. Try and watch it go nice and slow. Ah, here we go. Okay. So now we can get a good representation of what's going on. So the first planet here, bright one. Obviously, new pulsar in the middle. Obviously, all the planets are now orbiting the pulsar instead because that's the only object left from the star. Obviously, the orbits are reset. But those orbits, in theory, would naturally change again when the planet's orbits... obviously interact. Some of the gas giants are still in here, so they're going to cause trouble. So, okay, so here we go. The nova expands out. We can see the temperature of bright one is increasing like crazy here. Look at that. So it's going to be the same with Mirati, LP12. These aren't going to make it. Pascal as well. These three are all gone. They're not going to make it out of this. So we can see. Look at that. Look at that temperature. Look at the state of that. I mean, that is. Oh dearie me. And it's they're dissolving. Look, they're disappearing. LP12, closest planet to the star now. It's gone. Pascal, how you doing? Pascal's gone as well. Oh, no. Right. Some of these other dwarf planets further out, I mean, how are they doing? See, they are losing mass. But will they make it to the end or not? Let's see. Look at the size of that. Oh, so it looks like it has been really, really hurt by the nova. But a lot of these dwarf planets out here, they've been hurt, but they still exist. Okay, right. And obviously, further out, system is now engulfed in the nova remains. So let's just get that all out. So there's our star gone. And this is roughly where we're left off now. So if we just let things evolve, obviously the orbits are just going to immediately go back to their previous state where they're going to bounce off each other. They're going to constantly change. So let's just, let's actually go past the supernova time now. Because obviously in the last system we did, we just ended it with a supernova. But this time, we're going to keep it going for a bit after the supernova. So let's just try and go as fast as possible. Obviously, these orbits are all just going to change over a long period of time. So just go ahead and Control D, get rid of that nova, look back onto the system. Don't know why it tossed us out here. So there we go. So obviously our new star is in the middle here. This is all that's left of our star now, a pulsar, or a neutron star, I should say. So look at the orbits as they just absolutely tear each other to shreds now. Because obviously we had to use the auto-orbit button for convenience. Otherwise the planets all would have been slung out. So we can see that the orbits are now just going to return to their former selves and just go absolutely hectic. So that is roughly the end of this system now. So obviously over time this star would eventually just, I mean, it's a pulsar or a neutron star, it's obviously very small, but I think even these would eventually just fade out over time. And obviously the orbits would decay after a very long period of time. So eventually all the orbits will just sling out anyway. So yeah, I think that is roughly as far as we need to run this system, guys. So I really hope you enjoyed. I guess this would be evolving a custom solar system birth to death 2.0 because we already did the previous one. But yeah, definitely stay tuned because I've got many more ideas planned. I think someone said about doing a binary system. A binary system with 2 stars at once. Now that, evolving that from birth to death is going to be awesome. So I think that'll be our next plan. But obviously, if you've got any more ideas for stars and scenarios we could do for this, because there's endless possibilities for this series, and you guys seem to be really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing them. So yeah, really hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. And yeah, if you did, hit that like button, subscribe for more. Let me know of any feedback, tips, and suggestions for future episodes. And yeah, with that all said and done, guys, make sure you all have a great day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.